this session. In this session, we are going to see the superposition theorem in detailed view. So before going to the in detailed view of superposition theorem, let us first find some basics about the superposition theorem. Now first, when we'll use this superposition theorem, let us find out first. Then we'll go for in detailed view of superposition theorem. What is the statement of superposition theorem and how we can apply the superposition theorem to particular circuits. Now, first we'll see when we'll use this superposition theorem. Few points relevant to the superposition theorem. The first point we want to know, thing of superposition theorem is when we'll use the superposition theorem. In general, when you want to use the superposition theorem, the first point you want to know in any electrical circuit. Suppose if you are considering any electrical circuit, so when you are considering electrical circuit, so if this electrical circuit having more than one source, so more than one source, or we'll also call more than one source, or it's also called as a multiple sources. So if the electrical circuit having more than one source or multiple sources, so in that case only we will apply the superposition theorem. The basic use of the superposition theorem is if your electrical circuit having more than one source, then we'll use it as superposition theorem. Now, so what are these sources? So let us find what are these sources. Right? These sources may be either it is a voltage source, it may be a voltage source. So you can consider it may be the voltage source, or the source may be a current source. It may be a current source, or both. Either it may be a voltage source or having a current source. Right? So your voltage sources may be a voltage source or a current source, or it having a both voltage and current source. So this is the first point we have to know about the superposition theorem when we will apply the superposition theorem. Normally, the superposition theorem is applied when you have the more than one source in your electrical circuit or the multiple sources in your electrical circuit, which are maybe the voltage source or the current source or both voltage and current source. Now, another point we want to know about the superposition theorem, that is the effect of each source. The effect of each source can be calculated individually. The effect of each source can be calculated individually. Though you have the multiple sources, by using the superposition theorem, we will calculate the effect of each source in one branch can be calculated individually. Then we'll add all effects to find complete response. So that means a very simple way if you want to discuss what is the effect. So I can write, if you have the 4 number of sources, then we'll find out the responses of individual sources, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's it. So in simple way, if you want to understand the superposition theorem, the effects of each source, like source 1 effect, source 2 effect, source 3 effect and source 4 effect in one branch is calculated individual, then which will be added together to find out the complete response of the all sources. And these all responses can be added together to find out the complete response. This is a simple way to understand the superposition theorem. Now, let us see the exact statement of superposition theorem and we will understand the basic terms which are there in your superposition theorem. So, the statement consists of 3 important terms. That is, the first important term is in any linear. The circuit should be a linear. The circuits which are consist of all the elements should be linear. So which elements are to be linear? So your resistor, inductor and capacitor in electrical circuit are generally a linear, and if you having a circuit for diode, transistors, all those circuits are called to be non-linear elements. Now the second element, if you want to understand in your statement, that is active. the circuit having a active sources, that means that which supplies the energy, those elements are called as the active elements, or it's also a sources. And the third element you want to understand, that is a bilateral. So if your circuit having a such elements, so if that element characteristics are same, even though if you reverse the position of the terminals, right? So suppose if you consider the resistor, so though if you have reversed the terminals of the resistor, the characteristics shown by the particular resistor is same. So such devices are called to be a bilateral. So you have to understand these three terms: linear, active, bilateral. Now we'll go to the statement. So in any linear, active, bilateral, so when you want to apply the superposition theorem, your circuit should follow these three conditions. What are the three conditions? Your circuit should be a linear, and it should be having active sources, of course, more than one source which is required. Third one is that all the elements in the circuit should be bilateral. Next, so in any linear, active, bilateral network having a more than one source, so to apply the superposition theorem, this condition is very important. So more than one source, the response across any element is the sum of the responses obtained from each source. So the individual response is equal to the sum of the total response separately. And one more important term which you have to know in the statement is, when you are considering a one source and other sources, suppose among the four sources, if you have considered the first source, then remaining three sources are replaced with their internal resistances. So what is the internal resistance term? The internal resistance of the voltage source is considered to be 0. The internal resistance of the voltage source is 0. That means the short circuit. And the internal resistance of the current source is nothing but infinite, and that is nothing but an open circuit. Let us consider a simple circuit to understand the concept of this superposition theorem. So your circuit having, suppose you just draw a circuit. So a simple resistor, one resistor and second resistor and third resistor is connected like this, and I can call this is the resistor R1, and this is the resistor R3, and this is the resistor R2. So this is the complete simple circuit having a three resistors, and one side of this circuit consists one voltage source. You can consider like this, and the first voltage source you can call it the VS1, and the second side also one more voltage source is connected like this, and the polarity is like this, and VS2. Now check here. If you consider this circuit, first we have to go through with your statement. It is a linear circuit or not? Of course, the circuit having a simple three linear elements, resistors R1, R2, R3. So it is a linear, and its circuit is active. How it will be active? Because it is having two active sources which are supplying energy to the circuit. So that's why this circuit is called to be active. And bilateral. So these elements which are having a resistor R1, R2, R3, all are the bilateral elements. So the statement is valid with this circuit. So I can apply superposition theorem this circuit, because which is having a more than one source. So two sources are there. Now according to the statement, the total response, suppose I want to find out the response at resistor R2, I want to find out the current I2. Now the total response I2, I can find out by finding the individual response considering a one source. So I can call, so total response I2 is equals to the current I2 due to the voltage source VS1 plus the current I2 in the branch resistor R2 due to the voltage source VS2. So this is the simple definition of the individual responses of the element at each source, considering each source, is equals to the total response By adding the individual response, you will get a total response. Now, so by using this understanding, we will apply a simple way how we can find out this one. So in step 1, so we will take the step 1, how to apply a superposition theorem. So first consider the step 1. So considering in step 1, we will consider the first voltage source. First voltage source. So which one is the first voltage source? The first voltage source is the VS1. So if you consider the first voltage source, Then, so how it will be the circuit? So I'll redraw the circuit again. So this is the circuit having a resistor R1, R3 and resistor R2. Now I am considering the only voltage source VS1, first voltage source VS1 plus polarity and minus VS1, and this is the resistor R1 and this is the resistor R3 and this is the resistor R2. Now I have to replace this resistance with internal resistance of particular source. So because this is a voltage source, the internal resistance is 0. So internal resistance 0 means I have to replace this source, voltage V source, with a short circuit. Internal resistance 0 means it is a short circuit. Now I want to find out the current flowing to the resistor R2 by considering only the voltage source VS1. I can call this is a I2 due to the VS1, source VS1. Now I can calculate the I2 value for VS1. How I can calculate? So because it is a short circuited, your R2 and R3 both are connected in parallel. So the total current drawing from the source, I can call this is a I1T. If I call this is I1T. So this I1T current is split into two parts. One is going to the resistor R2, another current is your I2 of VS1 which is flowing to the resistor R2. By simply applying a current division rule here, this is the total current. The current division is splitting into the two parts. One is to going to the R3 and another one is to R2. By applying a simple current division rule. So what is the current division rule? Your total current. What is the total current? Your I1T, which is coming from source V1, I1T. So your total current into the current division rule is equals to the total current into opposite resistance, where you want to find out the current at resistor R2. So the opposite resistance is R3 divided with the total resistance. Total resistance is R2 plus R3. So this is the current flowing to the resistor due to the source VS1. Now, so we'll move to the step 2. So step 2, what is the step 2? In step 2 of superposition theorem, so consider the another voltage source. Considering the another voltage source, so consider the second voltage source. Consider the second voltage source. So which one is the second voltage source? Consider the second voltage source VS2. So I am just redrawing the circuit again by considering only the voltage source VS2, R1, R3 and R2. And I am considering only the voltage source VS2 plus and minus of VS2, and this is the resistor R3 and the R1 and R2. Now what about the first source? First source is replaced with its internal resistance. So because this is also a voltage source, I can replace this voltage source with again short circuit. If it is a current source, I have to open this one. So but because this is a voltage source now, I have short circuited. Now I want to find out the current in resistor R2. So that must be a I2 because of VS2. Now I have to find out the I2 because of VS2, source VS2. That value is equals to, so let us consider the total current drawing from the voltage source VS2 is the I3T. The total current is I3T. The total current is splitted here two parts. One part is going to the resistor R1 and other part is your current of I2 VS2. Now again we are applying a current division rule. The total current is I3T into your opposite resistance is R1 and the total resistance is R1 plus R2. So this is the step 2 to apply the superposition theorem. Now, so we'll move to the step 3. So what is the step 3? So we have calculated the individual response currents. Now in step 3, finding the total response. Because we have only two sources, we have only two steps to find out the current response. So third step, at the last step, finding the total response. So I2. So how you will find out your I2 is equals to, which is the sum of your I2 due to the source VS1 plus I2 due to the source VS2. So these values might be, So I1t into R3 by R2 plus R3 is the first value of response due to the first source. The second one is I3 of t divided with R1 by R1 plus R2. Right? So this is the complete response. So this is the complete procedure to apply the superposition theorem. Now, so let us find the one example how to apply the superposition theorem. So let us consider the example 1. See the example here. So example 1. So here find the current at 10 ohm resistor. So see here there are two sources here. So first source is a voltage source V1 and the second is a current source I1. Right? So two different sources. And this is the circuit having a simple resistance, and find the current at a 10 ohm resistor. Find the current at 10 ohm. That means I want to find out the current here in this resistance at the middle by superposition theorem. Now simply consider the total current. So I can consider this is the total current at a 10 ohm resistor. Current at 10 ohm resistor. Current at a 10 ohm resistor is equals to the current at a 10 ohm resistor due to the voltage source V1, the first one, plus the current at a 10 ohm resistor due to the current source 10 ohm resistor at to a current source I1. So your voltage source may be the 20 volts and the current source may be the 2 amperes. So let us go to the stepwise procedure to which we have seen earlier. The step 1. So what is the step 1? So in step 1, consider the voltage source only. So considering the voltage source 20 volts. Considering the voltage source 20 volts only. Now I'll redraw the circuit again and see how it will be. So let us consider 5 ohm resistor and my finding 10 ohm resistor and my voltage source 20 volts plus minus 20 volts V1, and this is the resistance of R1 5 ohms and this is the resistance of 10 ohms. Now what about this current source? So this source has to be replaced with their internal resistance. So for current source the internal resistance is infinite, so it is an open circuit, no need to connect again. So we have to leave it open because it is a current source. If it is a voltage source, we have to short circuit this one because the internal resistance of the voltage source is infinite. Short circuit it is a 0. The internal resistance of the current source is infinite. That means the open circuit. Now this is a simple circuit. Now I want to find out the current by simply just writing a simple voltage equations. I can find out the current. So which current I have to find out? I 10 ohm resistor with due to the voltage source V1. So what is the 10 ohm resistor voltage source? The total voltage is 20 volts. So 20 by the resistance here is 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10, 15. So 20 by 15. So I can write it is a 4 by 3 amperes. So 4 by 3 amperes is due to the step 1, due to the voltage source V1. Next, we will go to the step 2. Step 2 of superposition theorem for this circuit. So by considering only current source 2 amperes. By considering the current source 2 amperes. So then I will redraw the circuit again. Just see here a 5 ohm resistor and again 10 ohm resistor and my current source, because I am considering a current source, a 10 ohm resistor and a 5 ohm resistor. Now what about the voltage source? Because the internal resistance of the voltage source is 0, so I have to short circuit this one. This is the short circuit. Now what is the current? Current in 10 ohm resistor. I have to find out the current in 10 ohm resistor due to the current source 2 amperes. So for 2 amp current in 10 ohm resistor due to the 2 ampere source, that value is equals to, here the current is 2 amperes here the current is 2 amperes. So but it is split into two parts. One part is going to here and other part is going to here. One part is going to here, other part is going to this side. So now, so you can see the current direction is reversed. The total response I can write it in the reverse direction of the current. Now the current division rule I will apply. The opposite resistance is 5 ohms. The total current is 2 amperes and the opposite resistance is 5 ohms divided with total resistance is 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10. So it's a 10 by 15 again. So 10 by 15, it's a 2 by 3 amperes. 2 by 3 amperes. So this is the current. But it is the opposite direction. It is the reverse direction of the earlier one. This direction, previous direction is this direction. But this is the reverse direction. I can keep this is the opposite. Now, we'll go for the step 3. What is the step 3? So that because we have only two sources, so in step 3 I will go for the complete response. Complete response. So what is the complete response? The current in 10 ohm resistor. The current in 10 ohm resistor is equals to the current in 10 ohm resistor due to the voltage source V1 and the current in 10 ohm resistor due to the current source 2 ampere. So what is here? It is a 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3. 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3. The value is 2 by 3 amperes. So in this way, a simple way, you can calculate the total current flowing to these two sources by considering these sources is the 2 by 3 amperes, right? So like this we can calculate the total response by calculating the individual response, and finally we can add the individual response to find out the total response. Thank you.